Hello, hi, ciao. My name is Maria and I'm an architect and guide. I noticed that you really liked my video about Rome, so I had to make a part 2, especially in this holy year. So welcome to Rome and let's start the day, shall we? A special year like this happens only once every 25 years. So let's take a closer look at what it actually means. A holy year or Jubilee year holds profound spiritual meaning for believers, especially within the Catholic tradition. I'm Orthodox myself, and to be honest, I don't always follow all the formal traditions, but I wanted to dive deep into this true meaning of Christianity. The main idea of the Jubilee year is about God's mercy and forgiveness. To participate in it fully, you have to walk through the holy door, a symbolic gateway that opens only during this special year, at 4 major Papal Basilicas in Rome. During this trip, I managed to visit all 4, and I have a plan to share this journey with you, and hopefully inspire you to do the same. But first, my essential Italian ritual, morning espresso. As an absolutely must, when I'm in Italy, my day starts with an espresso. If you watched my previous videos, you already know this. There is no such thing as a big sit-down breakfast in Rome. There are no the specialty coffee shops or avocado toast on every corner. Instead, we do what Romans do and head to a place that smells like traditional espresso and freshly baked pastry. Not exactly the healthiest way to start your morning, but certainly one of the most pleasurable. After we started our morning in Italian pasticceria, let's proceed with the tour. And the first basilica that we're gonna see today is Santa Maria Maggiore, which unexpectedly turned out to be my favorite among 4. Apparently also my taste aligns with the Pope's, because this is the church where he will be buried, right between Michelangelo, Bernini and Borghese. Not bad neighborhood to rest in for eternity. The holy door, Porta Santa, of its basilica is located in the right side of its main entrance. It represents Christ himself, who said, "I'm the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved." Walking through it during Jubilee year is a symbolic act, leaving behind the sins that we all have and entering into the mercy and peace of God. But let's talk what's so special about this basilica. It was the first church in the Western world dedicated to the Virgin Mary, commissioned in 432 years after Christ by Pope Sixtus III, long ago. Its architecture is a mix of Byzantine, Renaissance and Baroque elements, so it won't remind you of a typical Catholic church. It was originally built as a Byzantine basilica and later modified through the centuries. It holds original 5th century mosaics, some of the oldest surviving Christian mosaics in Rome. The coffered ceiling is said to be gilded with the first gold brought from the New World and gifted by Spanish crown to Roman Catholic Church. I know that for some people churches are boring or, I don't know, not worth visiting, but I suddenly started crying being here because of the beauty and because it's unbelievable what human can do. I strongly recommend coming here. I don't know if I have this feeling because of this holy year or what, but being here in these churches in Rome, it is definitely something special. Each of 4 churches is located in a different parts of the city, so I would actually recommend spreading your visit across a few days. It helps to avoid crowds and give you space to process your emotions. Next on my list was San Giovanni in Laterano. This basilica is actually one of the most significant churches in the world, both spiritually and historically. Interesting fact, while St. Peter's Basilica is more famous, San Giovanni in Laterano, in fact, the cathedral of Rome, and the official seat of the Pope as the Bishop of Rome. It was founded by Emperor Constantine the Great in 324 years after Christ. Now you might ask, if it's that old, why doesn't it look ancient? And you'd be right to wonder. The basilica has gone through multiple reconstructions due to fires, earthquakes, and simply changing of architectural preferences. What we see today reflects late Baroque with strong classical influence, primary from the early of the 18th century. The Holy Door here is located at the far right entrance of the church front facade. Normally, the door is sealed with the bricks from inside, and every 25 years it's symbolically broken to open, allowing pilgrims to enter. The door itself is relatively simple in design, especially compared to St. Peter's bronze comprehensive version. Now I'm in another church, Basilica San Lorenzo, the one of 4 that you can visit in this holy year and go through the entrance door, a special entrance door. It has very different feeling, so it's very spacious. It has lots of sculptures, marble. The feeling of this is super monumental. Inside, the feeling is grand and majestic. You truly feel that this is a space that is very important. Along the nave, you'll find 12 statues of apostles, each over 4 meters tall. That's how the saints and holy figures were often portrayed in Italian religious art, bigger than life, literally. This here is the case on point. When you stand next to this figure, you are supposed to feel a bit intimidated. The Baroque renovation of the interior was led by Francesco Borromini, very well-known architect of Baroque times, but a competitor of my beloved Bernini. All these Baroque curves and the lavish decor is a Borromini touches. The floor mosaics, however, come from a different era, specifically 12th-13th century. The term for this style is Cosmatesque mosaic, in case you would ever need it. This is very unique to medieval Roman style. Later in the day, I continued with some museums and restaurant visits, but this I will show you in my next Roman video, so stay tuned. Day 2 we started early because we were headed to the most visited of 4 St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican. It opens the door at 7 a.m, but by 7:20 there was already a long line, so if it's on your list, definitely come early. And yes, we began the day with more coffee and pastries. I generally try to follow a healthy lifestyle, but in Italy I just struggle. The atmosphere of a Roman morning espresso is too charming to resist. This basilica was built in the 16th century, replacing the older 4th century version established by Emperor Constantine. I think it's fair to say that this is a spiritual heart of the Catholic Church. It was built by the biggest names of the times: Donato Bramante, Michelangelo, Carlo Maderno and Gian Lorenzo Bernini, my favorite. The Holy Door is the last one off the right as you face the Basilica from St. Peter's Square. And don't worry, there is plenty of guidance. I actually really appreciate how well organized everything was for the Jubilee Year. This door, like the others, is brick and shut down from inside and was opened, meaning destroyed, by the Pope on December 25th on the last year. The current bronze door was created in 1950, replacing a simpler one. It features 16 panels depicting scenes and forgiveness. Pope Pius XII declared 1950 as the first holy year after the Second World War and wanted something more symbolic and monumental than it was before. So that's what we see nowadays. Inside the space is vast and overwhelming in the best sense. The interior was designed to inspire and reflect the both of power of God and the greatness of St. Peter, whose tomb, by the way, lies beneath the main altar. One of the first things that you see is Michelangelo Pietà. Don't miss it. To me, this is the most touching sculpture of him. He was just 24 years old when he created it. What were you doing at 24? I think I just have finished the university. Fun fact, this is only sculpture that he ever signed, because people didn't believe that somebody so young could have created such a masterpiece. The cupola dome was also designed by Michelangelo, inspired by Parthenon. Though it was completed after his death, his influence is unmistakable. Basilica's floor plan follows the Latin cross, with a long central nave and a monumental dome at the crossing. It can hold over 60,000 people inside, so I think soon we will witness this. Don't miss Bernini bronze baldachin there, a massive canopy near 30 meters tall, standing over St. Peter's tomb. And one more unique feature, the basilica is decorated almost entirely with mosaics rather than paintings, ensuring that the artwork will last for centuries. The last of the 4 is located a bit outside the central Rome, so I recommend using the metro. Originally built by Emperor Constantine, already known for us in the 4th century over St. Paul's tomb. It was sadly destroyed by the fire, but in the 19th century it was rebuilt again as it was. Like the other 3 major basilics, St. Paul has a holy door, opened only during Jubilee years. Inside the basilica feels enormous. The ceiling is richly decorated with gold and the whole space gives the feeling of peace. One of its most iconic features is the long series of medallion portraits of every pope existed, starting from St. Peter up to the current pope. There is a long-standing tradition: when the last medallion is filled, it's a signal of the end of the world. Of course, new spaces are added as new popes are elected. Also, I did notice only one empty space left, but correct me if I'm wrong. And those were my impressions from this very special Holy Year in Rome. Despite being Orthodox, I found great meaning and peace in this experience. I appreciated the opportunity to walk through all these doors, which are usually sealed, sometimes even with bricks. I hope I've inspired you to follow this route, and if not this year, maybe in 2050 for the next Jubilee Year. But for now, I will say thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video, and until next time, ciao!